This episode of The General's Gentleman is sponsored by Galactic Civilizations 3. You are the leader of a spacefaring civilization, where humans and aliens compete for domination of our galaxy. Conquer through culture, diplomacy, technology, or military force. How will you rule your galaxy?
Welcome to The General's Gentleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Quicksilver vs Jesulin. In our previous matchup, we saw Jesulin use his right hand to thoroughly smash down Quicksilver in the arm wrestle battle. They've switched to the left now. Quicksilver will be staying. Quicksilver will be on our Wehrmacht this game. Jesulin on our Soviets.
Oh, insta-locking in the Soviet shock army. Interesting. I wonder if he actually, this is going for con spam. Okay, so not obviously the best map for the PPS hate conscripts, but the heavy mortar is just so good, especially on this map where you have this free hedge as a defensive location where you can't really punish the heavy mortar.
I'm having Lungra's flashbacks machine. Lungra's hedge flashbacks. So,
yeah. I'm sad he didn't go defensive because actually I casted a game before where it was Jesulin versus Findeed on Kolodny, and Jesulin went defensive, and it was very strong because are just so good. But either way, Quicksilver got some interesting commanders himself. He's got his German mechanized, so
love me some German mechanized.
Yeah,
so.
The command tank's good. Spotting scopes is insanely good. That we did nerf the scalability of spotting scopes and the 222 because that was just actual map hacks.
Yeah,
like you actually got vac banned if you played Counter Strike within 10 minutes after having a spotting scope 222.
It was pretty busted, machine. It was pretty busted. That's not the ideal engagement.
Yeah, I think he made a misclick. Oh no, he wants the garrison. Okay, never mind. I thought he tried to back around the hedge. I guess he just really wanted to hold this garrison, because it is a very nice location to have if the MG can get in there. But yeah, it took a fair bit of damage from the cons, which was a little bit needless.
Probably going to try and force the cons into an engagement where this MG42 is going to contribute. I'm guessing, machine. MG42 going to be rotating up now. Okay, he's actually going to go for the garrison. That's surprising. I thought he was going to set up and try and bait a conscript squad in, but this isn't a bad play. Grenadiers are going to be winning this engagement against the combat engineers. That's going to be the cutoff down here for Jesulin, so we'll have to see how he transitions out of this one.
See, this is why I always get triggered when people say that, oh, well, tier 1 should be this like high impact risk reward tier without any AT to see like how much of an early impact that you can get, because it's really not. Con spam is better for this like early impact, strong, high value early game, because of course you don't have to build the tier building, you don't have to build, or you don't have to spend the resources, so you can see that Quicksilver took his cutoff, but Jesulin is like, okay, that's fine, like I've got your fuel point and your VP, and actually having some nice flanks with the cons, but already has Molotovs as well.
Nice.
So the MGs will get flushed out. He's going to have to retreat through the con squad here.
He's not going to be ready for this one as well.
No, yeah, he's going to tag a couple of hits there from the flamer of the Molotov because he just got in the house. So, man, this con spam, this aggressive is just fantastic. The aggression.
Yeah. It certainly is the most high impact Soviet starting play is heavy conscript play. You just have incredible map pressure, and you always have had incredible map pressure as well. But I like the early Molotov tech here for Jesulin. It's always going to be surprising. It's generally the 4 con Molotov. You rarely see 3 con into Molotov unless you really need to displace an MG, which is what we saw here. Jesulin just had to commit, force that MG out of position. The garrison was going to be a big issue for him. Has a lot of territory connected, and now it's going to be retaking his left side cutoff.
Yeah, Quicksilver has had his munitions point the entire time, which is very important, and actually going for a sniper. And on the one hand, he's versing con spam. On the other hand, it is Crossroads, and I think the sniper is always good on Crossroads. It is just so open. They've got to be careful with the Gren squad here. It is pretty damn low, and 3 con squads can burst him down. Oh, the hedge may have just saved him there.
Yeah, it looks like it. Con's not really in a position to chase that one. Finding another nice engagement against this 4-man squad as well. Con's in synergy, I do love it.
Okay, no, I thought he was buying the house for his MG, but actually can't get there in time, and the world's lowest MG, you can just get forced away by the cons here. You don't actually evacs it. Jeez, this game is not going well at all for Quicksilver.
Not at all, machine. Yeah, dropping a few models here, and another really huge bonus of going this conscript heavy play for Jesulin. Something we mentioned before, when you have these call-ins, the heavy mortar, I mean, shocks, as much as the machine loves shocks as they're the best unit in the game. The heavy mortar, you want to have some really high impact early game that's going to bank you up CPs. And that's exactly what we see here. Jesulin just fighting. He's already on 1.5 CPs. We're 5 minutes into the game. That's about as quick as you can get them. That means that the heavy mortar is going to be available really quickly, and you can spend that banked up early manpower on the call-ins that are manpower expensive.
Actually, this is insane. This is 3 conscripts. Looking at the amount of map pressure, you would think it's 5.
Yeah.
Like, at least 4 conscripts.
Yeah.
But no, it's 3 conscripts because Jesulin is just really good at microing his conscripts. The MG arc, kind of covering the cons there. Jesulin a little bit indecisive. And as a result, his con's going to just go for the cap instead. So he has his battle phase 1. He has his med bunker on the way. And, yeah, double MG. So that works too. He actually cancelled his sniper because it is a pretty open map. But you can flank 1 MG, but flanking 2 MGs might be a little bit more tricky. But Jesulin, I think he's just waiting for 2 CPs, and he'll go bang, tier 2 right now probably, mortar and shocks.
Yeah.
Or at least just the mortar. 3 cons, man. Come on, this is not 3 cons.
Doesn't look like 3 cons, does it? But just finding such great engagements, there's not even the opportunity for Quicksilver to send an individual capping squad to the right-hand side. He's doing it now, finally, but shocks, man.
My man Jesulin went for the shocks.
So I'm talking about machine.
Everyone on the forums, including myself, says that shocks are bad. And I think they are bad, and yet Jesulin is like, I do not care about your meta, I want shocks. And I don't know why that was like a Russian accent, he's Spanish, but...
Maybe Jesulin's just paying me back for my ultimate fanboyism of him and shock troops, so... I appreciate that, Jesulin. I do. I'm feeling ya. I'm digging the shocks. Please make them work.
my Jesulin impersonation would be more like... Hello, I am Jesus. I like to play Company of Hero 2. He's kind of like, he sounds Italian, but he's Spanish, because it's kind of a similar, like, accent, you know?
Okay, I getcha.
I mean, people are going to flame me for saying that, but, like, when you hear him, he does kind of sound, like, sort of Italian, but look at this shock ambush. He's like, get in the house, bro, get in the house. Oh, no, he's revealed by the Grens. Actually, I'm running into this MG as well. Oh, no, smoking off. Gets behind the house, and look, his cons are going in. Oh, Jesulin, you are actually a god.
Big plays, machine. And the MG can't even take the house. Molotovs are available. That's certainly not a great idea. The MG is just going to be on the run. The conscripts chasing it down as well, trying to get inside the arc of the second MG42. It's not going to be in time. The conscripts have held on to their Ura. They're Uraing in. Shocks are going to be collapsing. This is going to be an awful retreat path. We're going to see Quicksilver just retreat everything. Retreat everything, Quicksilver.
I like how he's flanked 2 MG with 1 con squad. I'm actually having some nasty thoughts about getting the cutoff and then just having the shocks behind this hedge.
Oh.
The only problem there is you're kind of close to the base MG, which will probably reach like here. So that would be a little bit risky. But yeah, Quicksilver, at least he's getting his field point. But that being said, there's already now PPSH cons on the field. And will he actually go for all of his con squads with the PPSHs? And already a T70 on the way.
Straight up T70.
Oh my god.
Good stuff from Jesulin. It's going to delay the heavy mortar, which would be ideal, but there are enough combat squads on the field here with the shocks. Finding another genius flank as well, provided they don't walk into base MG arc, which they're not going to.
Yeah, I heard that LMG fire and I thought it was the base MG, but it wasn't. Okay, so this looks like Quicksilver's finally going to be able to push out, but he doesn't have any anti-tank at the moment, and he doesn't have enough command points for a call-in, so he has to go for a pack. Flanking with the PPSHs.
Yeah, he's going to win this. Molotov on the MG. Depends on how long Quicksilver keeps it around. Yeah, it's a good retreat.
He actually keeps the shocks there. You can merge the shocks, but you don't really want to because you don't get the armor on them. Oh, this could be a wipe for sure. That's going to be a wipe.
That was so well played by Jesulin. It's the Molotov that covers not only the garrison, but also the evac point of the garrison. So, as we saw there, the Grens popped out and they took so much DOT. It's insane.
Even just with regular grenades, if you fire the grenade like there, it will actually do damage to people inside the house. So in that situation, you pretty much always want to fire at the door. When there's only one door, there really isn't any reason to fire at the house specifically. T70's on the field. It's much weaker now, but it's still certainly going to force away all these squads. Quicksilver's going to have to go for a pack. He does have the 5 command point Puma. So will he actually go for that? I think that's probably not going to help him. I think, yeah, really he wants to get a pack into a Stug E. That's probably the better thing to do. But losing a Grand Squad... Oh, man.
This game is brutal. Just absolutely brutal machine. Yeah, the pack's going to be coming out here. Jesulin is just forcing these units out of Quicksilver. Quicksilver hasn't had a unit choice in a long time.
It's like, oh, nice incendiary. That's cute. I'm going to stay here and gun you down anyway. So the T-70, of course, very powerful when things are clumped in cover. Out in the open, not so much. The new formations you can see they do spread things out.
They help. I'm liking it. Looks good, machine. Yeah. How many squads does Jesulin have, machine?
There's 4 or 5 if you include the engineers, which don't even have any upgrades. Because it's like, you don't have any mines, you don't have any territory. I don't need a sweeper.
Yeah, you can just tell. Not with a lot of munitions here, and just this game. Jeez. Shock's gonna be forced off again, but it takes everything Quicksilver has in order to force the squad off.
So that was a flank there, but he had 4 conscript models and there were 8 grenadiers, so that wasn't going to work. But we have double fuel for Jesulin. Doesn't have his tier 4 yet, so will he go for a heavy mortar? Will he go for a howitzer? Will he just go for T-34 span? That's probably the best thing he can do. And actually, it is going to be the Puma, so decides that he just can't deal with this T-70. Given the map is this open, the T-70 now can actually survive 2 pack shots, so whilst it is a lot weaker, it still is difficult to force off because of the health. So yeah, goes for the Puma, he bites the bullet. The Puma, it's actually, it's different slightly. A lot of people are kind of mad over this, but I think they're kind of idiots. Because it has less anti-infantry. Its main gun doesn't do as much AoE against infantry, but it actually scatters less, and that is a huge deal, because if you've ever used the Puma, and if you've ever casted a game with the Puma, it certainly is quite noticeable how much the Puma misses against tanks and vehicles. You know, you would miss 4 or 5 shots in a row, and it's really frustrating. But it's going to be doing that a bit less now because of the less scatter on the main gun. So it's more dedicated. It's more of an anti-tank and less anti-infantry, which I think is good, because given that all of the light tanks have their infantry damage nerfed, you know, we didn't want it to basically just overshadow the more dedicated anti-infantry tanks and light vehicles.
A solid explanation machine. I like it. It's good. Jesulin will not give up a single inch of map control. We could see the full map capped any second now by Jesulin. Still hasn't gone for a heavy mortar, and I think kind of maybe misjudging exactly where Quicksilver is in terms of his field. He's actually going to be going for an Su-76, which I suppose is...
Well, he just wants something.
Yeah, there's something versus the Puma, I suppose. But yeah, we're not going to be seeing, for example, a command tank come out anytime soon. Quicksilver really nowhere near that position.
Jesulin just throwing squads at this cutoff. He can't really do anything, but he will be buying time, continuing the double cap, continuing the double fuel lead, of course, all of the strap points as well. I'm surprised he did go for the SU rather than just going for T-34s, but it doesn't really matter what he does at this stage. He has AT grenades as well.
Yeah, perfect position to close this game out. Hopefully we see Quicksilver at least take back a victory point here, maybe get these MGs into a nice position.
The other scary thing as well is this strafe is insanely good, the IL-2 Sturmovik. That wipes things very easily. There's a lot of munitions banked up, which doesn't have the pop cap for it. Somehow the mine didn't blow up, despite the barrage. What?
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there.
It's taking damage.
Yeah, it is. It's like a third health now. It's weird. Probably actually the webcam's covering that, but the mine is like 30% health from all those barrages, yet it didn't detonate. So that was strange. But yeah, this game is over. Look, he's suiciding engineers. Of course, the squad will survive as well.
Yeah.
And Quicksilver, he just wants to command P4. Is that too much to ask?
Just buying more time, continually throwing squads in, especially, I mean, I suppose the only thing it's stopping is Jesulin going for a heavy mortar. He is kind of manpower bleeding a bit, but he can go for one now if he really wants one.
Oh, actually that Faust lands. There is the SU nearby, but this is probably going to be a dead T-70.
Puma should chase this one down. Quicksilver needs to get back into this game. The only way to do that is at least find a sniper under the T-70 here.
Nice nade. Will it be enough? T-70 doing some decent damage in response. There it goes, the T-70. Now he's going to have to back away through this SU.
The Shocks are angry. They're going to chase this one down, or at least provide a bit of forward vision for this SU-76, which is on the chase, gets one shot off, only needs one more, but we'll have to run into a Faust in order to do so. You see Jesulin deciding to back off.
Barraging that as well. The barrage costs 15 munitions, but I don't think Jesulin is considering his munition expenditure too much right now. But yeah, nice play with the Puma. Of course, the lack of missing was probably noticeable there. It missed one, I believe, one shot, and that was against a T-70, which is a pretty small target size. So Puma definitely going to be more reliable in terms of its intended role.
Shocks have been used pretty well thus far by Jesulin, really more in that utility role. We've seen a couple of smokes out, that regular nade as well to force off the MG42, which is nice. So it's about all. Just have some more squads.
Probably won't get this one though.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should get the molly.
Nope, there he goes. Okay. Pinned.
Probably asking for a little bit too much. Charging 3 conscript squads into the forward arc of an MG42, but hey, if it gets you some VPs, machine, I suppose it gets you some VPs. 234 for Quicksilver. Jesulin's still on 473.
Look at the pop cap. 35 pop cap to 52, and yet Quicksilver is just absolutely struggling. That being said, though, with this T-70 down, he will be able to push out, maybe actually hold 2 VPs. So this is where Jesulin is a little bit weak, because he has a lot of resources being floated up, and he hasn't spent them, which is actually strange, because he will start to lose his territory, and it will be harder to get that back, especially with 2 MGs. He's got 2 vetted LMG Grens, there's 2 P Grens as well, so Jesulin can't get a little bit ahead of himself here. He's actually going for a conscript.
Another conscript squad?
And an SU. Wow, this is I don't understand this. This is strange.
Unless, I don't know. I'm not gonna try and meta Jesulin because it's never worked out for me in the past, but yeah, an interesting choice for sure. Certainly seems like there are better options here, going for a bit of tech with the amount of fuel float that we see here for Jesulin, but maybe he just wants to try out the SU-76s.
Well, I think he just wants to barrage the MGs.
Yeah, it's true.
But, like, you know what else can barrage MGs? A Katusha. That also can barrage MGs.
I've heard they're quite good at it, actually, so.
The Puma can still push around the Shocks, which will... Oh, no, they can't. If the SU is firing through the hedge. I was going to say the Pigarins would have some nice damage. It actually loses the Puma over the hedge. Wow. Whoops.
Pigarins forced to dodge that shock nade and still catch the back end of it as well, so they're going to be forced off. Jesulin maintains his map control. Maybe just wanted another munition sink. That's why I went for another conscript squad. It's like, okay, I'm going to upgrade them with PPSHs. That's good. He's
going to have the Sturmovik strafe soon as well. The MG's wiped. Pigarin's going to nade that one. Actually making the wipe off. Yeah, no, that'll get it.
Good play.
Nice.
Nice. Good work from Quicksilver. That was a very nice play. Good bait.
I believe the MG was vetted though. Or maybe it was the other one. Okay, that's going
to be brutal.
Here we go. He just retreats.
Yeah.
It's one model, and it will certainly keep them in base as they heal. It's going to keep going as well.
I'm surprised that Jesulin didn't hold on to that one. It's still going to buy more time for the caps to come through, I suppose, and that's why I went for it. I thought he was going to wait until we saw Quicksilver push out again, but it did at least force a mass retreat here.
Very optimistic, Blake. Quicksilver pushing out.
Yeah. Hey, man. A guy can dream. Sturmovic's still going.
Yeah, they'll go one more time as well.
Sticks around for a while, machine. Both of these SU-76s are going to be available for barrages as well. Third strafe should come through in a second. There's the heavy mortar.
I don't know, man. He could have just got a howitzer for 600 rather than the heavy mortar, but anyway, I just want to see a howitzer because of given the saturation of forces, given the concentration of forces. I think a howitzer would be very, very nasty, but I mean the heavy mortar will be as well, of course. And Sturmovik has timed off. There's actually a scout car. Wow, he really wanted the vision, I suppose. A 19-minute scout car.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I went for it, to be honest. Maybe I'm not going to try and meta it.
He's just so sick of being flanked. He's like, I need to have vision so I can actually face my MGs. Oh my god, okay, that wasn't a wipe. I thought that was a wipe. Whenever the icon moves, you always kind of assume the worst.
The heavy mortar is going to be incredibly consistent here as well, Machine, in terms of forcing off these MGs.
Yeah, he couldn't flank this.
Will entirely prevent Quicksilver from holding 2 VPs at this stage, having that heavy mortar available.
So Jesulin had to retreat 2 cons, so this may actually allow Quicksilver to get this fuel point here, or maybe even that middle munitions point, the middle VP, I should say. But of course the Pyres aren't doing horribly. 1 for 1.
Good trades.
Aren't you glad Pyres got buffed?
I'm so glad.
Are you concerned about how viable Pyre spam will be?
So,
and you've seen all of the replays that everyone posted where Pyre spam was just completely uncounterable?
That'll be good. I was going to say, clearly the Pyres read their buffs there, and they just want to try and get out. They see this squad of conscripts with previous hedges. It's like, it's fine, dude. We got buffed. Don't even worry about it. We can take this duel.
Another strafe available. He's just spamming auto attacks, hoping to actually get some shots. That MG's flanked.
Be forced off with the shocks here as well. I actually see the heavy mortar going to be forced to retreat as well here, Machine.
Can he barrage this? No, he's just spamming his attacks. Gonna be pushing him around.
Can't really do anything here.
Oh, that's... Oh, gets shot down? Wow, the 222 actually shot down Sturmovik. Maybe that was why he went for it.
Potentially that was the plan, yeah, you're right, Machine.
Pretty sure the 222 has like just as good anti-air as an Osvin. The anti-air in Coh2 was so weird. Okay, wow, the shocks could go down here.
Yeah, that would actually make sense. That's probably why I just wanted to shoot down that strafe. Well, he went for a 222. It's pretty cost efficient going for a 222 and denying all those munitions for Jesulin.
So the way that anti-air works is pretty weird. Basically, with planes don't have health and anti-air doesn't do damage.
Yeah.
It's pure RNG. Every time an anti-air weapon fires, there's X amount of chance that it'll just instantly kill the plane. So that's why you have things like the Pintle MGs. Or double barrage. Yeah, forcing them off. So yeah, every time you fire anti-air, you have X amount of chance of shooting the planes down. So, and some things have more chance than others, like the M15, the anti-air half-track for the US, I believe has a really good anti-air chance. And then you have things like the quad half-track for Soviets in the current live game is actually really bad anti-air. Yeah, it's just percentage. It's raw RNG, which is not so good. I certainly like Mirage Fla's implementation, his competitive edition mod, where he actually gives anti-air X amount of damage and gives planes X amount of health. And so it means it's more consistent, and it means that like more anti-air will guarantee that planes get nullified.
Certainly a better way to do it, rather than both sides just relying on RNG purely. Hey, Quicksilver might get 2 VPs capped.
Yeah. But look at Jesulin's fuel. Man, he wishes he was Lend-Lease right now. He could just dump all this fuel into munitions. But like, it's good balance in the sense that Lend-Lease doesn't have Sturmoviks or Incendiary Barrage.
Yeah.
Because if you comboed that with, you know, the munitions transfer, they'd be overpowered. Could you imagine if there was a commander which had strafing runs and bombing runs and anti-tank strafe and also a resource transfer?
Be pretty nuts.
But Jesulin is just holding out here with his cons, with his SUs, and so far so good, but I feel like this won't work forever, or at least it won't work forever as well as it is now. I mean, these penals are getting vetted up, and vet-free penals are pretty beastly.
Vet-free P-Grins, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, P-Grins, of course.
Forcing off all of these squads. Jesulin potentially getting a little bit too cocky here.
Oh, he crushed one!
Yeah,
he got one! He got two!
Get him!
Oh my god!
There you go, they come back.
I mean, people complain about M10 crushes. I mean, really, I personally think SU-76s, their crushing is far more potent than M10s.
That's the real problem.
Please hotfix.
Yeah. Look, Jesulin really needs to go for a tech up as well. Yeah, he still doesn't have his tier 4.
Yeah.
Suppose it's the can I win a game just with cons and PBSHs and SU-76s.
The third squad of penals, Pigrens.
I think Jesulin needs another squad of conscripts, if I'm being honest, so...
Another
Is 5
SU-76.
really enough?
That being said, there is another strafe as well, and so every kind of moment Quicksilver has map control, once the strafe comes in, it'll basically just revert that back to the way it was before.
131 VPs to Quicksilver's name here.
What also would really help versus all this conscript aggression is a lot of S-mines, but Quicksilver's just been starved of munitions, so he hasn't really had the option to, especially with how munitions hungry the Panzergrenadier grenades are, the bundle grenades. That's a nice Molotov, gets both the pack and the MG. He's not done, he wants to get a nade off. This could be the end of this con squad though, with the P4 moving up.
He's going to be retreating though, managed to pull back in time, actually walking inside of his own Molotov here, and it looks like the MG42 is probably going to be gunned down here, at least will be forced off. Pigren's moving in as well. All of a sudden Jesulin is not trading cost efficiently at all. So Quicksilver's unit preservation has been much better this game. Despite being contained to his base, his unit preservation has been on point.
Yeah, great play, and not only does he have vetted Panzergrenadiers, he also, of course, has the Command P4 buff, which is really, really good. I think it's like 25% health, it's just a huge increase. And now there's a lot more options for Quicksilver. Does he eventually tech up here? Nasty barrage. Yeah, back to S-mines. If you just put like that, fantastic play. Look, he can't flank there now. You put some S-mines here. Just a couple of little flags. You know, they're only what 30 munitions for 2 little squares. However you quantify S-mines, 2 S-mine patches, and it really does limit the mobility of flanking, especially with something like shocks, which will be very expensive if they get caught. We do see merges here. This shock squad is more conscripts than there are shocks.
SU-76s are going to be decent against this command tank. However, it's mainly going to be a please don't drive through. It's certainly not going to deny any of these buffs coming in, especially if the command people plays defensively. So it's certainly possible that we see Quicksilver maintain his hold onto 2 EPs. And going back to your S-mine talk machine, it will allow Quicksilver to more easily hold this central VP and then have S-mines on the right-hand side VP to prevent any sneaky decaps from Jesulin. So
yeah, he can place his MGs more aggressively. He doesn't have to keep them far backwards. And these Panzergrenadiers are just murdering these cons.
Yeah.
This is not a fair fight. And they're only vet 2 cons, but I mean, we saw the Panzergrens as well. And there's 3 of them, so this is insanely good late game from these Panzergrenadiers. And actually, finally, we have the the tier 4, the T-34 76s. Their anti-infantry is very good. Their machine guns are very strong. They can push around the Pigrens. They can chase them down. Gives them lucky hits with the main gun if he's fortunate enough. And the overpowered SU-76 Crushers comes through, gets one of the Pigrens down.
That probably is going to be the biggest problem here. Quicksilver has done a fantastic job at tailoring his unit composition to deal with what Jesulin has at the moment. But Jesulin has so much fuel that composition can change drastically, and we're seeing that now transition into the T-34s. And Quicksilver really doesn't have the munitions to transition into just flat Shreks, and he doesn't want to either, because then he'll lose his anti-infantry against the conscripts with the PBSHs, so he needs another form of AT, and he doesn't really have the fuel to invest to get another form of AT at this stage, so it's going to be in a tricky spot. Now Jesulin has started with that medium tank production, double T-34 76 now coming out. Yeah,
it'll be a second pack, he doesn't really have much other choice. It's a shame he lost that Puma, because that Puma would have really helped. I could definitely scale pretty well versus T-34s, especially giving you the vision, like a scout car for the pack. He even still has a scout car as well. Also, of course, with the buff, the Puma's going to be a bit more durable, so it could trade decently versus T-34. And yeah, the game continues. T-34. Oh, is he ramming this? No, never mind. No, it just changed the icons to prioritize vehicles.
Not the world's best ram, it would have been. So maybe another pack if we can see even a Stug come out here from Quicksilver. So Stug, double pack, S-mines. He's going to be in position to at least try and hold 2 BPs and try and potentially force Jesulin to make an aggressive move with these T-34 76s.
T-34
Probably the best
76i.
6i, yes, of course. I'll work on my pluralizing.
Yeah, mine detonated on one of the Panzergrenadier, so that's not going to be... Okay, T-34 actually going in for the kill here. Popping the Sturmovik strafe as well. Has the Shreks on one of the squads, the Panzergrenadiers. The penetration isn't going to be too good, but he has some nice rear armor flanks. Scout, a car, and the pack, so really losing this. One of the T-34s down.
Pack doesn't manage to get another shot off, and the command tank actually survives here. Not the ideal dive from Jesulin, and Quicksilver wasn't even probably set up for this one.
Well, nice recovery. He lost a lot of Panzergrenadier models, but no squad wipes. He actually has 4 P-Grens now. He's got 1 with Shreks. He's got 3 with just the regular STGs. He has overtaken Jesulin and PopCap.
He has. You're right there, Machine. 131 VPs, however, and we will see Jesulin take back control over this middle.
Oh, that was a nasty hit. That mortar is vet 2 with 6 kills.
Really key part of Jesulin's composition at the moment. Still with 500 fuel floated up here as well.
Oh my
Ouch.
god. Lucky he didn't lose his pyros because they were repairing, so they would have taken extra damage. Though I suppose it's a lot of it is extra accuracy, and that wouldn't really make a difference versus Sturmovik, but I'm pretty sure it is also more damage as well as more accuracy.
It is.
So, T-34 spam. I lost to Quicksilver last night against his T-34 spam, and it was after I had an insanely good lead, so I'm a little bit triggered by the T-34 spam.
That was your OKW game, right?
Yeah, my OKW game, yeah,
right, yeah,
and yeah, it inspired me to have a long rant about 35 munition Volks Fausts. Panzergrenadiers, though, as strong as they are, they're just so expensive to reinforce, and that's going to be definitely limiting the army. He's not retreating the squad, yeah.
Yeah, it is limiting. Quicksilver's playing, he's trying so hard to come back into this one, but it's just so difficult to actually do that.
Oh, nice nade.
A good bundle could be dropping 5 con models there.
The cons are much cheaper to reinforce than Panzergrenadiers
Yeah, they are.
Making another push for the cutoff with the shocks. Nade! Oh, that's going to be a wipe! There we go!
Okay.
Quicksilver finally
Okay.
gets one, but these shocks going to be taking out the pack, unless we see some nice plays from the P4, but double SU-76 forces that. Oh, there it goes. Down is the Panzer IV.
P-Grens on the Shock's retreat path here, and they're taking a fair bit of damage. Pack's going to be standing up, actually goes down here. T-34 is going to be moving in. The Panzergrens are already really low. Here comes the T-34, another Sturmovik strafe coming in.
He crushed a squad. Another T-34 is here as well. That's what he lost 2 squads there to the crushes, getting sandwiched behind the hedge. There's an LMG, there's a Shrek, and there's a Shrek. Man, there's a Shrek party here. T-34's in the base. Scout car for defense, but that's going to be it.
He's coming in from these P-Grens, but the Shrek squad was actually crushed here. 2-2 goes down.
MG, you can't cap the Shreks.
No.
Oh, that turned around.
That was brutal.
It was a bold gamble by Jesulin by not going for his tech on the house. He just kept doing what he did, and so I think that could have backfired. But I feel like a really huge part of this was actually the Sturmovik. That Sturmovik, I think, is actually really overpowered, but it essentially, against all this Panzergrenadier spam, it prevented Quicksilver from holding territory, because at the moment he would get territory, he would have to mass retreat. The heavy mortar as well did some insane damage. Only 12 kills, but against Panzergrenadiers in particular, and just the damage locked them down.
It really was just changing the dynamic between the Panzergrenadiers and these PPSH conscripts. I mean, Panzergrens are fine against PPSH conscripts, but when they've taken a heavy mortar shot, they dropped a model and they've dropped health, all of a sudden the engagement's hard, and we see the P-Grens bleeding more models. We see Quicksilver losing more and more manpower.
Especially the way that Jesulin was playing. I don't want to say he was necessarily blobbing, because he had all these squads kind of flanking all over the place, but he generally had them nearby. You know, he would have, them kind of spaced out, he would have some flanking around. And so what that means is it forces Quicksilver to basically group up all of his Panzergrenadiers to try and fight the hordes of conscripts. But then because they're grouping up, they're all of a sudden, now they're vulnerable to the heavy mortar getting some nasty hits off, and it was generally playing around this middle location, and so the heavy mortar was just sitting there, and it was actually pretty far forward as well, so it was it was scattering less than if it was just sitting in the base AFK. So incredibly well played game from Jesulin. We didn't expect much different to that. Quicksilver just messaged me on Steam. He said, second MG was a mistake. Should have gone for P-Grens from the start. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Sniper wouldn't have worked. The cons are too mobile on this map as well. Given how the game went, like if you went a sniper earlier on and the game was going okay, then yeah, sure, fine. But if you're playing from the back foot in that kind of situation, then that's bad. If you're getting base pinned by MGs, then yeah, great. But if you're getting base pinned by conscripts, then no, the sniper isn't good. But yeah, I mean, Quicksilver, he played very well, but Jesulin is definitely the better player here. And there's no shame. I've got my butt handed to me by Jesulin a few times lately. I streamed it as well, so it wasn't a secret affair. So yeah, nice game. Any last words?
No, good fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, alright. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.